ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to yet another video. So today we're going to talk about something really very simple. But why am I doing a video on this and why am I talking about it? Is because it's something that we all go through, yet we have trouble processing and putting it in perspective. There's something really important about investing and in life in general because you are going to get stuck. Things are going to go wrong in your life somewhere down the road, whether it's that bad decision to purchase something, whether it's a bad investment that you made in getting a service, whether it's a bad product you bought. There are going to be things that are going to go bad at some point in time, and there are going to be some wrong decisions that you make. The important thing is how we learn to deal with it, because when it comes to investing, oftentimes we get stuck and then we don't know what to do. We get anxious, we think of asking other people, and often we take knee jerk reactions which might not be best for us. It's very important to understand, like, when we get stuck, what are some of the things we can do? How do we analyze it? How do we process it? And how do we put it in perspective? These are very important things we need to understand, and that will help us make level headed decisions and be calm and have a structured way, like a framework or a methodology, if you will. Okay, so let's just see what happens. Like, if you make a bad investment, what happens if you bought that wrong stock or you invested in that wrong company, you just bet on the wrong people. It happens to all of us. Like, even if you make a bad real estate investment, if you make a bad investment in equipment, it can happen anywhere to you. But what happens after that? Like, it can be psychologically stressful. Now, what you don't want is people coming in and saying, hey, look, I told you so. Like, that doesn't help anyone. We don't want to, like, go and be anxious. Like it's quite a bad situation when you make a bad investment. Like, you're psychologically stressed, you're anxious, and it disrupts, like, just your daily routine. You start asking friends, family for advice, often who aren't professionals, and you might not get the best advice. You take knee-jerk reactions, and there's often a ripple effect which is seen, and you're not able to take level-headed decisions in the future, which is why it's very important to deal with this and deal with it quickly rather than shove it under the rug, because it's only going to psychologically weigh you down and prevent you from taking good level headed decisions in the future. Like, just own up to it and say, okay, we made a bad investment, we made a bad investing decision, and here's how we're going to improve on it. Now, this is one example I want to bring up because this is like a lot of you subscribers have talked about it. This is something that has been discussed in some previous videos. So, if you just go and see, like, what we've marked out here, on the left corner, you would see, like, we've marked out pros buying, and right when it reaches the top, there's a rectangle which says pros selling. So, what you can see is the institutions, or in this case, it might just be smaller bodies at play colluding and saying, okay, we'll buy low, we'll sell high, certain funds, and we'll take those profits. What often happens in these type of stocks is regular people like you and me get caught in the middle. Like, we just get caught in the middle and we're unable to, like, process or deal with it, because institutions buy cheap, they cash out at highs, and everyone else is left holding the bag. So what can you do? Like, if you get lucky and you're on the right side of this, let's say you buy it at 100. Like, okay, this is a different example, but let's say you buy it at 50 and you're at 100. Try and just think of it rationally and, like, maybe liquidate half. Again, I'm not a certified financial advisor or a planner, but this is just a risk mitigation tactic I'm talking about out of experience. If you buy at 50, the price reaches 100. If you just sell half of your holdings, like, isn't that the house's money? Like, you just took profits on half of it, and you're good to go, or maybe a little more than half of it, like, if you want to be even more conservative. So this is how we can deal with it when we are up, and acknowledge the fact. Yeah, sure, it might go on to make, like, huge money in the future, but at least you have a framework and a methodology to deal with it. Otherwise, just be prepared to lose most of your investment. Like, think about the VC perspective. Think about what private equity does. They have, like, multiple companies they bet on, and a lot of them don't make it. They don't make it off the ground, but they still have ones that do and that hit it out of the park. So what we want to do is, whenever we are investing, whenever we are looking at something, we want to have, like, that sort of approach and framework where we can take those measured decisions and risks. Okay, so what's the solution? Well, what we can do is improve our investing thesis. So whatever goal we might have, We might want to invest for dividends, we might want to invest for growth, we might want to invest just for steady market returns over inflation rate. So stick to that thesis. Do not get swayed by chatter. That's one of the most important things. Move on from the loss. Yes, it's difficult, but learn, vow to invest in learning, ask the right questions, and try and learn and move on from it. That's very, very important. Also, consider asking professionals for advice, licensed professionals. Don't even listen to me that's talking on YouTube because I'm not a licensed professional. Consider getting licensed professional advice that will give you the framework, the tools, or that will give you that professional advice to take a measured decision. And also, it sounds like, very simple that, we can do all these things, but we tend to make it a little more complicated. We tend to get anxious because that's where the psychology and the human behavior comes out. I'm also getting a link in the comments about modern portfolio theory. You can go have a look at it and read about it and see what it talks about, because that's very important when you construct a portfolio and how to measure against systematic and unsystematic risk. All right. Like the path to success is often going to be involving like multiple failures. Like you look at anyone that's made it big, like sure, some got lucky, made it big at an early age, but for whoever went through the grind and achieved success later, just look at, KFC, McDonald's, like all those people that achieved success like in their 40s or 50s, they had to like really grind it out. So I think what's important is that we understand that we have to grind it out. The path to success might involve a lot of bumpy roads, but we will get there eventually. Maybe we're not there today, but we will get there eventually. It sounds simple, but we just got to do it. Like we just got to grind it out. So it's important that when you get stuck, you assimilate all these learnings, you put it into your checklist and framework, and always have some sort of a guide to help you out. Like whether you write it, you develop your own framework, you learn the framework and implement it yourself, or you're consulting like a professional financial advisor, always know what questions to ask and what your checklist is going to do. That's very, very important. Thank you. I don't know if the video was too generic or not, but please do subscribe. It helps keep me motivated and make more of these videos. And please, in the comments, tell me what more videos you'd like to see, and I'd put more and more content out, uh, like relating to whatever you guys would want to see and wherever there's more interest. Okay, thank you. I'll see you in the next video.